Cheating stories. I saved her family's hotel only to find her ring in his room. I poured my heart into saving her family's hotel only to find her ring in his room. It wasn't the affair that broke me, it was the ledger proving she'd sold us out. I'm Grant Dalton, and if that hit you like a freight train, buckle up. This is my story of loyalty, betrayal, and a truth I never saw coming. If it grips you, hit that like button. Drop a comment, and subscribe to Viora for more stories that'll leave you reeling. 5 years ago, life was gold in Leah. My wife was my anchor. We lived in a charming Victorian house in Burlington, Vermont. Think creaky floors, a stone fireplace, and a porch where we'd sip wine under the stars. I ran a boutique hospitality consulting firm, Dalton Strategies, turning around struggling inns and restaurants. Leah was the marketing director for her family's business, the Crestwood Inn, a historic hotel in the Green Mountains. We weren't rolling in millions, but our combined income, mid-six figures, gave us a comfortable life, a healthy savings account, a ski trip every winter, and dreams of opening our own bed and breakfast someday. Leah was a force. Her auburn hair caught the light like fire, and her laugh could charm a room. She'd tease me about my obsession with profit margins, calling me her spreadsheet cowboy, while I joked that her smile could sell out a hotel in a blizzard. We were partners in love and ambition, building a future I thought was rock solid. But this is a cheating story, and those don't end with forever. It started with a crisis. The Crestwood Inn was bleeding money, bad management, outdated decor, and a staff ready to jump ship. Leah's parents, Warren and Evelyn Harper, were desperate. They'd sunk their life savings into the place. But bookings were down 60%, and creditors were circling. Leah begged me to step in. "You're the best at this, Grant," she said, her eyes pleading. I couldn't say no. I took a leave from my firm, rolled up my sleeves, and got to work. For 6 months, I lived and breathed Crestwood. I revamped the booking system, hired a new chef, and negotiated with vendors to cut costs. I worked 16-hour days, streamlining operations and launching a marketing campaign that Leah helped craft. Slowly, the inn turned around, occupancy hit 85%, reviews glowed, and we cleared $200,000 in debt. I was exhausted, but proud. Leah kissed me under the lobby's chandelier, whispering, "You saved us." I believed her. The first twist came at the staff celebration dinner. Warren announced a new CEO for Crestwood. Not me, but Leah's brother, Travis Harper. Travis was a mess 35, a partier who'd flunked out of business school and spent his nights at dive bars. He'd contributed nothing to the turnaround, yet Warren clapped him on the back, saying, "Family blood runs the show." Leah stood silent, her smile tight. I felt the room tilt. I'd poured my soul into their legacy, and they'd handed it to a drunk. That night I confronted Leah in our kitchen, the moonlight slicing through the blinds. "Why didn't you fight for me?" I asked, voice low. She fidgeted with her ring, avoiding my eyes. "It's complicated. Grant Dad's old school. He trusts Travis. Trusts Travis. The guy who'd once crashed a company van while hungover." I swallowed my anger, but doubt crept in. Was Leah complicit or just caught in her family's web? The second twist hit a week later. I was auditing Crestwood's books, tying up loose ends before returning to my firm. A hidden account caught my eye. $50,000 funneled through a shell company called Maple Ventures. The transfer started during my turnaround, authorized by Leah. My stomach churned. I dug deeper, finding invoices for consulting services from a Zachary Preston, a name I didn't know. When I asked Leah about it, she brushed it off. "Just a contractor Dad hired." She said, her voice too quick. I didn't buy it. I tracked down Zachary. He was a slick hospitality consultant from Boston, known for flipping hotels for profit. His LinkedIn showed him at a Crestwood event, arm around Leah, both smiling. My chest tightened. I called his office, posing as a client. His assistant said he was on site at Crestwood on site. I'd been there daily and never seen him. That night, I found a keycard in Leah's purse room, 214 Crestwood's executive suite. My hands shook. Was this a cheating wife story unfolding under my nose? The third twist came when I swiped into room 214. The suite was empty, but a jacket hung on the chair. "Men's expensive," with Zachary's initials monogrammed. On the desk, a ledger detailed payments from Maple Ventures to Crestwood, signed by Leah and Zachary Worse. A note in her handwriting. "Z, meet me at 10 p.m. Don't tell Grant." My blood ran cold. The inn I'd saved was a front for something, maybe an affair, maybe a scam. I left the room, the keycard burning in my pocket, and drove home under a sky heavy with stars I no longer trusted. Leah was asleep when I got back, her auburn hair splayed on the pillow. I stood in the doorway, torn between love and rage. Was she betraying me with Zachary, Or was this about the money? The $50,000. The secret meetings, her silence at Travis's appointment. They were pieces of a puzzle I couldn't solve. I needed answers, but confronting her risked everything. My heart said she loved me, but my gut screamed I was a fool. The note in Leah's handwriting. Z, meet me at 10 p.m. Don't tell Grant, was a shard of glass in my chest as I stood in our bedroom. Her soft breaths a cruel contrast to the storm in my head. The Crestwood Inn. The legacy I'd poured my soul into saving was now a house of mirrors reflecting lies I couldn't escape. The $50,000 in that secret account. Zachary Preston's monogrammed jacket. Leah's silence when Travis was named CEO. They weren't just red flags, they were a betrayal woven into the fabric of our life. Yet love clung to me like the Vermont frost on our windows, begging me to believe she was still the woman I'd vowed to protect. I slipped out the oak stairs, creaking under my boots, and drove to my office, the Green Mountains looming like silent accusers. This cheating story was far from over, and I'd uncover the truth even if it tore me apart. In the pre-dawn hush, I hunched over my laptop, the screen's glow burning my eyes as I dissected Crestwood's financials. The Maple Ventures account was a labyrinth, $50,000 siphoned to offshore banks masked by invoices for consulting services that didn't exist. I cracked into a deleted email thread between Leah and Zachary, my heart hammering. We're out of time. Zachary wrote Warren's asking too many questions. Leah's reply, I'll handle it. Keep the money clean. Clean. The word was a slap. Was my wife laundering money through the inn I'd rebuilt? The thought was a gut punch, but worse was the image of her with Zachary, his arm around her in that photo, her smile too bright. It whispered of an affair. I couldn't unsee a wound deeper than any ledger. I needed more than suspicions, so I called Tessa Malone, a private investigator with a reputation for dismantling corporate fraud. We met at a Burlington diner, the clink of coffee mugs grounding me as she scanned my evidence. This smells like a shell game, Tessa said, her sharp eyes narrowing. Maple Ventures is likely a front, but it's buried deep. I'll need a week and $7,000 to dig up the players. I wired the money, my savings shrinking, but truth was worth more than dollars. At home, Leah was a shadow, her auburn hair tucked behind her ear, her excuses for late nights at Crestwood, piling up like unpaid bills. Just catching up on reports, she'd say, her smile brittle. I nodded. But each lie was a brick in the wall between us, and I was running out of mortar. The fourth twist landed like a thunderclap. Tessa met me by Lake Champlain, the water lapping at the shore as she handed me a thick folder. Maple Ventures is a shell for a Montreal real estate syndicate, she said, voice low. They buy distressed hotels, strip their assets, and flip them for millions. Zachary Preston's their frontman, he's been skimming. Crestwood's revenue and Leah's signatures are on every transfer. My throat closed. The $50,000. I asked, dreading the answer. Tessa's jaw tightened. Moved to a personal account in Leah's name, then to Montreal. She's either in on it or being coerced. Coerced. The word hung like smoke. Was Leah a criminal or a captive? The documents felt heavy in my hands, but the thought of her with Zachary, those secret meetings, cut like a razor, bleeding out my trust. I followed Leah that night, my truck trailing her sedan as she claimed a vendor meeting at Crestwood. Instead, she pulled into a Burlington wine bar, its amber lights casting her in a glow that felt like a betrayal. Through the window, I saw her with Zachary, their heads bent close, his hand brushing hers across the table. My blood roared. I snapped photos, my hands trembling, each click capturing her laughter. Laughter she hadn't shared with me in months. I wanted to storm and demand answers, but my feet were rooted, the lake's chill seeping into my bones. I drove home, the photos burning in my phone, each one a question. Was this love or a deal sealed in whispers? The fifth twist hit harder. Tessa called at 1 a.m., her voice sharp. Zachary's playing both sides. He's siphoned an extra $40,000 from Crestwood, bypassing Leah's transfers. But here's the real bomb. Leah's been emailing a lawyer about whistleblower protections. Whistleblower. My mind spun. I opened the emails Tessa sent. Leah wrote, I can't keep lying to Grant. Zachary's out of control lying. The word was a dagger, but it hinted Leah was fighting back, not orchestrating the scam. Or was it a ruse to cover her tracks? I stared at our wedding photo on my desk, her smile now a puzzle with missing pieces. Each one a choice she'd made without me. I confronted Travis, Leah's brother, at his apartment, a cesspool of empty whiskey bottles and pizza boxes. What's Leah hiding? I growled, towering over him. He smirked, eyes glassy. She's saving Crestwood. Not your ego. Zachary's the golden ticket. Dad's obsessed with his plan. I grabbed his collar, my voice a blade. What plan? Travis coughed, shrinking, selling the inn to some Canadian hotshots. Leah's just doing what Dad wants. You're not family, Grant. Selling Crestwood. The inn I'd rebuilt from rubble. I let him go. My fists clenched to the betrayal, a weight I couldn't shake. Leah wasn't just hiding an affair, she was torching our dreams. The sixth twist came at a Crestwood board meeting, the air thick with tension. Warren announced a strategic sale to a Montreal firm, with Zachary unveiling a slick presentation about a rebrand that would gut the inn's soul, new condos, chain restaurants, no trace of its history. Leah stood beside him, her face a mask as he pitched a $2 million deal for a property worth $5 million. I sat in the back, my pulse hammering. This was theft, and Leah's signatures authorized it. After I cornered her in the lobby, the chandelier's light fracturing across her pale cheeks. "You're selling my work," I asked, voice raw. She gripped my arm, her whisper, desperate. "I'm trying to stop it, Grant. Please believe me, believe her." Her eyes flicked to Zachary watching us, his smirk a taunt that fueled my rage. I tailed Zachary to a motel on Burlington's outskirts, my truck cloaked in the night's shadows. He entered room 12 with a briefcase, his stride too confident. I waited, then picked the lock-a trick from my reckless college days inside. I found contracts forging Leah's name, diverting Crestwood's assets to Montreal. A laptop showed emails between Zachary and an anonymous contact. "Dalton's digging. Neutralize him." Neutralize? My breath hitched. Then I found a velvet box inside Leah's wedding ring, the one she'd claimed to lose months ago. My world shattered. A text lit up Zachary's phone. "Grant's close end at Leah." My knees buckled. Was she betraying me or playing a deeper game? I photographed the contracts, my hands shaking, and slipped out the motel's neon sign, buzzing like my fractured trust. I wasn't done. I drove to Crestwood, sneaking into the manager's office at 2 a.m., the safe. Leah's domain held a burner phone and a ledger. The phone had text from Zachary. "We're exposed if he talks." Leah's reply: "I'll handle Grant, just finish the deal." Handle me. The ledger detailed $100,000 more in hidden transfers, some to a personal account in Travis's name. Travis. My mind raced. Was Leah protecting her brother, or was the whole family in on it? I pocketed the phone, the safe's cold steel mirroring my resolve. This wasn't just about an affair. It was a conspiracy, and I was the collateral damage. Back home, Leah was in the kitchen brewing tea, her auburn hair glowing under the pendant light. "You're up late," she said, her voice steady but her eyes wary. I clutched the burner phone in my pocket, the ring's ghost heavy in my mind. "What's Zachary to you?" I asked, my voice a low growl. She froze, the teacup trembling. "He's a mistake, Grant. I'm trying to fix it for us. Her words were a lifeline, but her secrets were an anchor. I walked out the door, slamming the Vermont night, swallowing my footsteps. I was done being her fool, but I'd dismantle this scam even if it meant losing the woman I loved. The burner phone in my pocket felt like a live grenade as I walked away from Leah, her plea, "I'm trying to fix it," ringing hollow against the slam of the door. The Vermont night was sharp, the frost biting my skin, but it was nothing compared to the cold truth I'd uncovered: Leah's wedding ring and Zachary's possession-forged contracts bleeding the Crestwood Inn dry, and a text from her: "I'll handle Grant. Handle me." The inn I'd saved, the life we'd built, was crumbling under a Montreal syndicate's greed, and my wife was either their puppet or their partner. I drove aimlessly, the Green Mountains a blur, my mind wrestling with love and betrayal. This cheating story wasn't just about an affair, it was a war, and I was done being collateral. I holed up in my office, the burner phone's texts glowing like accusations. Leah's message to Zachary, "Finish the deal," was time-stamped hours before I'd found her ring. But another text, unsent, caught my eye. "I can't do this to him anymore, him, me." My heart twisted. Was she planning to confess, or was it another lie? I forwarded the contracts and texts to Tessa Malone. My PI with a note: "Find out who's behind Montreal. I'm done waiting." Tessa replied instantly: "On it, lay low. Grant, these guys don't play lay low." I'd been low for months, drowning in Leah's secrets. It was time to fight. The seventh twist came at dawn. Tessa met me at a truck stop outside Burlington, her eyes bloodshot from a sleepless night. "The Montreal Syndicate's frontman isn't just Zachary," she said, sliding a USB drive across the table. "It's tied to a guy named Victor Lang, a real estate mogul with a rap sheet, money laundering, extortion. Leah's been wiring money to his accounts, but I found a hidden email. She's been feeding info to a federal agent trying to build a case. A Fed! I plugged the USB into my laptop, my hands shaking. Leah's email read, Lang's people are watching Grant. I can't let him get hurt. My breath caught. Was she protecting me or covering her tracks? Tessa leaned in. She's playing a dangerous game, Grant. If Lang finds out, you're both dead. I drove to Crestwood, the inn's familiar silhouette. Now a stranger's face. The staff was tense, whispering about layoffs, and the sale. I slipped into Leah's office using her spare key. Her desk was a mess: receipts, a half-empty coffee mug, a post-it with Call VL Victor Lang. My blood ran cold. Then I found a locked drawer. I pried it open, revealing a flash drive labeled Insurance. I pocketed it, but footsteps echoed in the hall. I ducked behind a filing cabinet as Zachary entered, his phone pressed to his ear. Lang's impatient, he said. If Leah backs out, we cut her loose permanently. My pulse roared. Cut her loose. I waited until he left, then bolted the flash drive burning in my hand. Back at my office, I plugged in the drive. It held audio files. Leah's voice trembling, recording conversations with Zachary Victor's threatening my family. She said in one, if I don't sign, they'll go after Grant. Zachary's reply was cold. Then sign Leah, or I can't protect you. Protect her. The recordings painted a grim picture. Leah was coerced, blackmailed into funneling Crestwood's funds to Lang's Syndicate. But why hadn't she told me the final file was a video? Leah alone, speaking to the camera. Grant, if you find this, I'm sorry, I thought I could fix it without losing you. Her tears glistened, and my heart cracked. I believed her, but belief wasn't enough. The eighth twist hit like a freight train. Tessa called, her voice urgent. Lang's Syndicate knows you're digging. They've got eyes on your house. And Grant Travis is in deeper than we thought. He's been taking bribes from Lang to push the sale. Travis, I'd written him off as a drunk, but he was a traitor. I raced home, finding Leah packing a bag, her face pale. What's wrong? I demanded. She jumped, dropping a sweater. I got a call. They know I talked to the feds. They Lang's people. I grabbed her shoulders. Tell me everything, Leah. Now her eyes filled with tears. Victor Lang owns us. I signed the transfers to keep you safe. Zachary promised to help, but he's working for Lang too. I pulled out the flash drive. I found your recordings. Why didn't you trust me? She sobbed, collapsing into a chair. I was ashamed, Grant. I thought I could outsmart them, save Crestwood without dragging you in. Ashamed. The word cut, but her fear was real. I wanted to hold her, but the burner phone's texts, her texts, flashed in my mind. Did you sleep with Zachary? I asked, voice low. Her silence was a blade. It was once, she whispered. A mistake to keep him quiet. A mistake. My world tilted, but the sound of tires on gravel snapped me back. Headlights swept the driveway. They're here! Leah gasped. The ninth twist was a blur of adrenaline. I grabbed Leah, pulling her to the back door, as a black SUV blocked the front. Two men in dark jackets approached, one holding a gun. Run, I hissed, shoving her toward the woods behind our house. We sprinted, branches clawing our faces, the men's shouts echoing. My truck was parked a block away, hidden. We reached it, my hands fumbling the keys. The SUV roared behind us, but I floored it, weaving through Burlington's back streets. Leah clutched my arm, her breath ragged. The feds. She said I have a contact agent, Morrow. He'll help. I nodded, my mind racing. A Fed was our only shot, but trust was a luxury I couldn't afford. We met Morrow at a diner in Montpelier 3 hours later. He was grizzled mid-50s with eyes that saw through lies. Leah handed him the flash drive, her voice shaking as she detailed Lang's Syndicate, Zachary's double dealing, and Travis's bribes. I added the forged contracts, the threats. The gunman. Morrow's jaw tightened. This is bigger than Crestwood. Lang's tied to organized crime. Hotels are just the start. I'll get you protection, but you're witnesses now. Witnesses. Fugitives. More like. Leah's hand found mine under the table, her touch a flicker of the past. I didn't pull away, but I didn't squeeze back. The 10th twist came at midnight. Morrow's safe house, a cabin in the Adirondacks, was compromised. A text from Tessa Lang's people hit Morrow's team. Zachary's missing. Get out. Missing. My gut said Zachary was either dead or running. Leah's face drained of color. Travis, she whispered. He must have tipped them off. I cursed. Her brother's greed had sold us out. We fled, the cabin's pine walls fading in the rear view. I drove south, no destination, just motion. Leah stared out the window, her voice soft. I saw you, Grant, putting up flyers for Crestwood's grand reopening. You believed in us. I broke that. I gripped the wheel, her words a weight. Why him? I asked the question raw. Why Zachary? She swallowed. He made me feel like I could control this. I was wrong. The 11th twist was the final blow. Morrow called from a burner. Lang's syndicate leaked the forged contracts to the feds. You and Leah are wanted for fraud. Wanted. My face, her face plastered on news alerts. Crestwood was seized, its staff jobless. Its legacy. Ash Travis was in custody singing to save himself. Zachary's body was found in Montreal, a bullet in his head. Lang's cleanup. Morrow's voice was grim. You've got 48 hours before the feds close in. I'm working on immunity, but you need evidence. The flash drive was with Morrow, but I had one card left, a backup of Leah's recordings hidden in my office. We doubled back to Burlington, a suicide move, but I had no choice. The office was trashed. Lang's men had been there. I found the backup in a false drawer, my hands shaking as I uploaded it to Morrow. Leah stood watch, her eyes scanning the street. If we go down, I'm sorry, she said. I looked at her. The woman I'd loved through every lie. We're not done yet, I said, but my voice lacked conviction. The recordings were damning Leah's voice, Zachary's threats. Lang's name, but they also damned her. She'd signed the transfers, slept with Zachary, kept me in the dark. Love wasn't enough to erase that. The 12th twist was a faint hope. Morrow's team raided Lang's Montreal office. Using the recordings, Lang was arrested, his syndicate crumbling. The feds dropped our charges, but Crestwood was gone, sold to cover debts. Leah and I were free, but freedom felt like exile. We stood in our empty house, the Victorians' creaks louder than ever. What now, she asked, her auburn hair catching the dawn. I didn't know. Her betrayal affair's secret silence had gutted me, but her fight to protect me lingered. I walked to the porch, the stars fading. Did I save you, I asked, or did we lose ourselves? She didn't answer, her hand brushing mine, a ghost of what was. If this story broke your heart, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Viora for more tales that cut deep. Would you forgive Leah, or walk away forever? Tell me below.